The biggest challenge not necessarily is the wound, it's about what leads up to the wound, and I strongly believe that we should look at all wounds, as we do with pressure ulcers, that we look at them from a root cause analysis point of view. We look at why is it there in the first place, what's the underlying comorbidities, what have we done to try and change those underlying comorbidities. Have we invested the right amount of time at the beginning? Has the community team invested that right time at the beginning? And if we have we then worked with the multidisciplinary team to make sure it all comes together? We did a survey of 5,000 wounds a couple of years back, and we looked at compliance stroke concordance, and we found that between 22 and 28% of patients were non-compliant, non-concordant. Ask yourself the question why, and I think it's because we're not investing the time at the assessment that's getting the right relationships, and therefore the patients maybe not be buying into the treatment plan, and therefore we get delayed wound healing. And in a nutshell, it's the issue of time, and it's about using time more appropriately. Everything's changed so much and continues to change, and we've got to find new ways of working to accommodate these ever-increasing patient population, because we're not doing these things for our benefit, these are purely for the patients. And I think once they start to trust us, they buy into that treatment plan. So it is about building that relationship, and that's the key. Over the last 30 years, there's been very few things that have come along that have actually, shall we say, created that wow or eureka moment. There's very few things realistically. I'd like to think never give up hope, because there's always going to be something coming around the corner that I might be able to provide for them that makes them feel better about themselves, about their wound and about their situation. And obviously some of these patients are at the wit's end, they've come to the end, you know, they really want something, anything, any miracle cure. So when something comes along that can potentially do that for the patient, I'm more than happy to give it a go. When we was introduced to the Woulgan, I wanted to give it a go for the patients, and that's basically what we've done. So we had a wide range of patients really with lots of underlying comorbidities, and for some patients the product did seem to have a significant effect, and obviously the patients felt very good that the fact their wound had been from a very chronic, long-standing, complex situation to a now either healed or healing situation. They were very happy. If they're happy, that makes me happy. If I'm happy, the organisation's happy. I would say that the Woulgan has got a place, certainly in my toolbox, of a formulary. Now, why? One, because it had a significantly positive effect on a number of stalled, static, chronic, complex wounds, sufficient to convince me that there is a place for it. And certainly with the diabetic foot, I was really surprised at some of the results that came with the diabetic foot. Pleasantly surprised, because there was people there that are potentially going to lose more limbs, you know, if it hadn't caused them to heal. And some of the leg ulcers and some of the pressure ulcers and some of the acute wounds as well, it's had a significant effect. So Woulgan is an interactive dressing that does something to the wound bed that kickstarts it potentially into a healing situation. I think there's a potential there, and certainly if I was the patient, I'd be wanting somebody to give it a go. I'd rather have a go at that than somebody saying to me, you need a bit of your limb removing.